These are the parts I'm going to be using today to do this job. Rear brake pads and rear rotors. These are the tools I'm going to be using today to do this job. 3/8 cordless ratchet, a 3/8 ratchet, 17mm socket, 12mm socket, 12mm wrench, 17mm wrench, impact screwdriver, flat tip screwdriver, another flat tip screwdriver, an air gun, 3-pound sledgehammer, rubber mallet, my rear piston compressor, dot 3 brake fluid, brake clean, ceramic grease, anti-seize, and my brake flusher. So the vehicle came in. There's a squeaking sound when you move the vehicle. You can hear this noise. That means your wear indicator is touching the rotor, so it's time to change your brakes. Okay, first I'm going to loosen up the bleeder screw while the caliper is still mounted on the car. Now I'm going to remove this caliper. There's 2 bolts, one here and one here. So before you remove the caliper, there is 2 mounts right here. One is for the brake hose and the other one is for the emergency brake mount. You gotta remove that. Removing the pads. Removing the caliper mount. There's 2 bolts, one here and one there. So there's these two screws you gotta remove to take out the rotor. So with my impact screwdriver, I'm going to remove it. So I got this special tool. What it's doing is it's going to be turning the piston and pushing the piston in at the same time. If you were to just squeeze the piston in without turning it, it's not going to go in. So you got to screw it in and put pressure on at the same time. So I'm going to open up the blader screw and turn the piston in and pressurize it at the same time. I'm going to lubricate the caliper mount, removing these pins and lubing them up. Putting in some ceramic grease. Greasing up my hardware. I'm using the original hardware. If you can, you reuse it because it fits better than the ones that come with the kit. Putting some anti-seize around my hub. So before I put the rotor on, I'm going to clean it up using some brake clean. Make sure to get rid of any oil on the rotor. Putting the rotor on. Putting on my screws. Tightening it up. Putting on my caliper mount. Tightening it up. So we're going to be putting on the pad. The one with the wear indicator goes on the inside. So make sure the rotor is right now spinning counterclockwise. So we're going to put this on the bottom. Greasing up my caliper. Putting on the caliper mount, bolting it up. Tightening up the bolts. putting on my bolts for the brake hose and the emergency brake cable. Now we're gonna bleed the brakes. I hooked up my brake flusher to my master. Now we're gonna bleed the brakes. Opening up my bleeder screw. Let the fluid come out until it's clean. Once it gets clean, then you can lock them up. So I locked up the bleeder screw, shooting down my bleeder with some water, neutralizing the brake fluid. Now I'm going to blow it down with air, dry it up. Now we can pressurize the system and check for leaks. So I'm going to start up my vehicle. Pump the brake pedal up and down, no more than halfway until you feel pressure. Once you feel pressure, just hold it for a little while. And then with my hood prop, I'm going to be putting one side against the brake pedal and one side against the seat to hold pressure. I pressurize the system about 15-20 seconds. Check for leaks. There's no leaks. You're good to go. And don't forget to put on your rubber cap. That's how you replace rear brake pads and rotors. Don't forget to subscribe. Give me a thumbs up, and I see you in the next video. Aloha.